What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 39 of The Daily Entrepreneur. I'm James. I'm here with Jack and Josh, and we are the School of Hard Knocks. Without further ado, let's get into today's video where we're going to be talking about the 8 side hustles that you can get into in 2023. Cool article that I found. Wanted to kind of get your guys' thoughts on the 8 different side hustles and if people can make themselves some extra money out there. Starting with TikTok live seller. You got a little extra time. You have a good need or knowledge of like products and you can sell. TikTok live selling. What are your thoughts?
So is that basically like somebody hopping on TikTok, going live
You
to
get
their
a little
audience?
You get a little following. You go on live on TikTok and you're selling right there.
Wow.
That's the hustle.
I'm going to be honest, bro. Out of the 8, that's probably got to be the worst one.
Well, we're going to rank these at the end.
We will rank these at the end.
We're going to rank these at the end.
But like, dude, there's so many factors that goes into that
I think
one.
that's honestly pretty valid.
I do too.
It's valid.
It's so free.
Have you ever scrolled-
You have You have 100,000 followers. You have 10,000 of those.
I've seen some with 100K with 7,000 people in their live.
Okay. How many people have 100K right now?
Followers?
Yes, very few.
Okay, that's the side hustle.
Okay,
You got to grow it.
Definitely that's part of the side
Not for
hustle. But
everybody.
I just feel like out of the 8, it's probably the least attainable.
All right. Well, the
Okay.
next one, we're going to get right into it. Spotify list curator. So some people are making up to $500 a month making playlists for Spotify.
That to me is dumber than the TikTok live.
Yeah.
I'm going TikTok live over that.
I'm going TikTok over that.
Yeah. Is there a playlist curator?
Yeah, exactly. They make
I do that when I wake up in the morning. I make a damn playlist.
Yeah.
That's easy money. Maybe we're shitting on it too much. If people are getting paid for that, that's
Yeah.
easy money right there.
Yeah. Well, apparently, I guess the one requirement is it's a playlist of at least 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
So that's how you'll be able to monetize it.
I mean,
it's right here.
That is
Okay.
one thing I do know. Like a lot of music artists do look for is like especially when they're trying to break out as playlisting. But yeah, I mean it's interesting. I don't know much about that.
It's pretty interesting.
So that brings us into the next one, which is stock imagery creator. Okay, and that's essentially again taking pictures just like the one seen here and kind of.
It's just making stock images and selling it to publications.
So like it's
different.
like Getty Images and like
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
again, it's pretty much photography.
That's pretty
Yeah,
standard.
that's-
Very boring side hustle, but it's very lucrative
most attainable one yet, honestly.
for sure.
Yeah, out of the 3, very very attainable.
Filming,
You could use that.
You could
TikTok
do that in
on
your
phone.
house. You could do that in your house. Take stock images, sell them.
Yep.
Yeah.
You could go like Austin. You could just go around the city, take pictures of the different viewpoints, stuff like that. And I mean,
Very attainable. I like that.
I wonder how much they
What's
make
the next
from
one?
that, though.
Next one's a little bit more complicated, going into the world of Web3, becoming a blockchain lender. Now this, I'll kind of like read kind of what it talks about here, but it's an emerging side hustle that may not be on the radar for many people. But using blockchain, individuals and small businesses can bypass traditional financial institutions and connect directly to secure financing or earn interest on their excess cash. This can be done through the use of decentralized finance platforms, which use smart contracts to automate and secure the lending process. So, blockchain lending.
High barrier to entry, probably very profitable if you can get into it and be very good at it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see the vision there. My only thing is just be very careful who you go through with that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if there's anything that we've noticed with the NFT and just the crypto space is you got to be careful who you put your money into. So I see the vision.
High risk, high barrier to entry, probably high reward as well.
Exactly. Could agree.
Yeah. So the next one is Substack blogging. So essentially, it's a service that allows people to reach their readers directly and monetize their content through subscriptions. So it's kind of different from traditional blogging of just making your money through like advertisements, but it's essentially like through like subscriptions. So blogging,
I think that is the best side hustle that we've talked about so far. And that's the honest opinion. And because I think that it's like if you can cultivate a blog following, you own your data, people are paying for a paid subscription every single month. That's constant cash flow that comes in every month, and that's a very, very attainable business. When you have softwares like ChatGPT and things like out there that can help you write blogs and you don't really need to pay for a writer as much, or if you're a skilled writer yourself, it can help make your writing process a little bit better. You'll be able to spit out a lot of content. You own the data of your audience, other than which is different than like a TikTok live, and at the same time you get monthly cash flow, whereas like you're not as relying as like at affiliate marketing and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely think that's probably the most lucrative. I think it would take a little bit of time to actually gain that audience and get people to like, hey, this is a blog I actually really fuck with and like come back to. But I think once you have that base following an audience, I think it'd be super lucrative.
That's why it's a side hustle. Not all these things need to be done in 90 days. Like it
Yeah.
could be 2 years, and then boom, you never have to work again because you built a great following.
Facts.
Which brings us right into the next one, which is probably the easiest one I'd imagine that's going to be on here, but renting out your car. So listing your car on Turo, you don't need your car every day, but not honestly a bad way to make some monthly income if you're not using your car, you know?
I like it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who treat the car rental business like they do the Airbnb business whenever they're not using their car. Like, I mean, me. I have barely used my car since I moved down to the city, and I'm guessing if people, you know, are on vacation or whatever, would probably like to have a vehicle. I'd
You
rent
got
it out.
Airbnb people right around you if they need a car. Just
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little too many people.
Yeah.
they wouldn't have a radio though, so you'd have to drop the price a little bit.
drop the
Right.
price.
The next one, again, you kind of, I feel like have to have more of an interest for it, but actually creating and evaluating resumes or CVs for other people. So, you know, a lot of people, they may require assistance for this, may not know how to put a resume together, or, you know, they want theirs evaluated. You know, that's kind of where this comes in handy. So interesting side hustle for those who may have an interest for it.
I like it. I genuinely do. I think there's a need for it. The only thing that concerns me is the audience themselves. I feel like it was almost like in the analogy that was made in the Alex Hormozzi book.
Yep.
It was like helping people to get jobs, but what's the problem with helping people get jobs and try to get paid for the service?
They're unemployed.
They're unemployed. They have no money to give you. But I think if you can find that right audience, super
Yeah.
lucrative.
Absolutely. So what's the next one?
Becoming a notary public.
Okay, so that's pretty much like helping people sign documents, make sure that they're official, like their signature is official. Basically, an overseer of a document signer.
Right. Granted,
That's
this
not
is-
bad.
This has become a
I
lot
feel like
more
that.
this has become a lot more automated recently.
Absolutely.
But regardless,
I think
you
that's
know,
my only discrepancy with it. Is I think that that's something that is going to be more authenticated, especially as Web3 technology gets a lot better. That there's not going to be really a need for human oversight, other than some like maybe one person that checks the authorized notaries.
Yeah.
That's pretty much about it with that.
Yeah, I agree right with him.
So we'll end this off kind of by giving you your top two and then the worst one that you felt with.
I'm gonna go the Turo car rental and probably the
I'd say
the Substack for
the
me.
Turo one's the most attainable. It's the quickest one where you could start tomorrow.
You could literally start making cash tomorrow. So I'd go those two, and then worst one, probably I'd say TikTok live seller.
I so disagree
Only
with that.
only reason I say that is because in terms of applying to most people,
No, but it's
not gonna work. Bro, a lot of those people that
No
go on those
shit,
TikTok
it's all about
lives
barrier to
are
entry, though.
fucking maniacs, bro.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But it's like the blockchain one. It's definitely not the worst one, but it's probably the hardest one to do. If you can, I've seen people with 10 to 20K and they have a couple thousand people in their live.
Yeah.
So it's like if you do that and you have like a catch, right?
Yeah,
You
that's
have a
just
sign,
my take on
call
it.
to action.
That's
you
just
know?
my take.
So I'm basing my picks based on what I think has the potential to make the most passive cash flow month to month that has like a relatively not too high barrier to entry. Because if that was the case, I'd probably give the blockchain as my number one. But I'm not going to put it in my top two just because I think at this point the barrier to entry and the risk is way too high. At some point someday, it probably will be very lucrative. My top two is going to be the subscription-based blogging and the stock images. Reason being, subscription-based blogging, obvious reasons. The content itself can be really scalable, automated pretty easily, and you can raise your monthly cash flow by a tenfold. The stock images, I think I like that better than the car because it's a lot easier to scale that, because if you license your images out to like a Shutterstock or you create your own platform that you can do image licensing for, then you're going to be paid for years on end and being for as many people that want to use those
Very
images as
passive.
possible. Very passive. You only have to take those pictures one time, whereas like a car, only one person can rent that car at a time, where multiple people can license out the images. The worst one, I'm going to have to go with the Spotify playlist curator, because you have to do a lot of research on up-and-coming artists, and there's only so many different playlists that you can create to get you paid, and it's honestly probably not passive. It's probably one-time fees and just requires a lot more work on your end. I would throw TikTok Live. I'm on the opposite of you. I think that could be really lucrative from a brand deal aspect. It's just active income. There's no passive income involved in that.
Yeah.
Well, that about wraps up our episode. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about a couple side hustles that you can get into in 2023. Comment down below what you thought was the best hustle, what you thought was the worst one, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you for tuning in.
Peace.